Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Every Rush song.
Hello, Rush fan. Thank you for joining us on another, can you believe it's lasted this long? Another episode of Every Rush Song. I'm trying to scoot up my chair. I hope you're watching this on YouTube. I hope you're watching this on YouTube because Jay and Tim are just, they do hilarious things. So check us out on YouTube you can find us at Every Rush Song, believe it or not, Every Rush Song. Speaking of social media, so when we had the idea of doing this podcast, we wanted to start out with about 3 or 4 each of our favorite songs to get through the first 10 episodes before we started tackling the songs album by album. And I was hoping to split up the songs throughout the albums and not have too many from any particular album. So when Jay first came at us with Closer to the Heart and A Farewell to Kings, I was like, oh, they're both on the same album. But I didn't want to be a jerk and say, no, let's not do that. Plus, they're both awesome songs. And it helped me gain a greater appreciation for both songs, which is kind of what this whole podcast is about in the first place. So Jay and Tim, were you a little surprised when I suggested that we do Xanadu, another song from Farewell to Kings?
No, because most of the time I don't pay attention to the things that you talk about. So
Very good.
I had completely lost track of everything that we had talked about.
Well, here's what happened.
Have we started recording yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, that's
Sorry. Carry on my way.
will there be peace?
Evidently.
So
Okay.
here's what. So when I started doing the social media stuff for the show, and I'm holding up my phone in case you're watching on the YouTube, the very first person who responded, who sent me a direct message, who asked me for the link to the podcast and subscribed, a person named, I'm just going to say David, because I could tell by the conversation that we had that David enjoys his privacy. So I'm just going to say David from the West. And we had a little bit of a conversation about the podcast, about Rush, about David. And he said that he thought Xanadu was the best rock song ever. So I thought, you know what? I think we owe it to subscriber number 1, to direct messenger number 1, David. I think we owe it to him to cover Xanadu. So that's why I'm throwing out a third Farewell to Kings. So David,
Well, it's an excellent song to discuss. However, I'm going to start off disagreeing with something you just said.
that I just said,
Yeah.
which just one,
Or maybe he said it and you're repeating it.
yeah, which is what
I don't know if I would consider Xanadu the most awesome rock song ever.
Mhm. Go on. Would you care to elaborate?
It's one of the best Rush songs. Does it rock? Yes, it does. But
So,
okay, great. But it also starts with ding, ding, ding,
Birds
ding,
chirping.
ding, 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 ding.
I was listening to it
is
this
Scooby on this
afternoon.
song? I don't remember hearing
Us.
Scooby on.
I was listening to it this afternoon, and
Or
you hear all the background stuff, and you hear the birds, and my dog was just looking over towards the speaker like, what's happening? He didn't understand, and quite frankly, neither did I.
I mean,
But
Dog.
I would not title it just rock. In a way, I would almost title it sort of new age rock, way before new age music was new age music, just because of the beginning. It has all of those same little,
like you could hear it in a
idioms.
massage. They could be playing that while you're getting a massage,
right?
and it would
Absolutely.
oh, that would be great. That'd be
Yes.
great. That'd be
I never thought
very,
about
very
that.
relaxing.
Right.
You know, I have to say, and
Speaking of Xanadu,
I hate to spill. I hate to not really speak ill of the dead, but I hate to say this, but Olivia Newton-John had the worst cover of Xanadu ever. I mean,
It wasn't anything like the
no,
original.
it
No.
just wasn't. And I
No.
just
Now, is Olivia Newton-John to blame, or is it Jeff Lynne? Because I'm pretty sure he produced
well,
just about
I think we can pretty much agree that Jeff Lynne is the cause for all these problems that we're having today
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
with music
Could-
and with the atmosphere that we live in.
I mean, oxygen and
Yeah.
nitrogen and tiny
Yeah.
bit of helium. Huh. Jeff Lynne.
No,
Okay.
Jeff Lynne's a great guy. I don't care what he says.
I don't my top, like I don't think I could give a definitive top 10 Rush songs. It would always change, but I would still say Xanadu is always in the top 5.
Wrong.
Oh,
It would always be in the top 5.
No,
Yeah.
you're wrong.
no, you are wrong, Shane.
Tim, speaking of Xanadu, do you remember, I think it was our 12th grade English class, Mrs. Lamb, and we had to analyze a poem or something. And do you remember when I did Kubla Khan?
Yes, yes.
And she laughed the whole time and said that she should fail me for plagiarism.
For plagiarism,
but
right?
she laughed so much that she ended up giving me, I don't even remember what she gave me. And it was all
Which-
because I don't know what I plagiarized
I'm right now. I'm in shock
that I remember.
because it's something more than 30 years ago.
know.
Yes, yes.
And you know why? I mean, I did Kubla Khan because I loved the song Xanadu. And so maybe I only remember things about Rush, except for the concerts from those years.
Oh no,
But yeah,
yeah.
it is weird. And I
Yeah.
never had, so I guess she was pretty old then. So
Yeah, she
I
was.
loved
She was
her.
ancient.
she was a great teacher. And
Yeah.
I'm assuming now that we can wish that she rest in peace because that was many years ago.
Well,
So, yeah,
I have to
Unless
say,
she got a baboon heart, then she could be still alive today.
All right. There's
I
always
never
some
really-
triumphs.
I have to say, I never really thought that much of Xanadu before, but I've been listening to it a lot now, and I listened to it a lot this week, and I noticed. First of all, I think the music's amazing, and I think I've said this before. Neil, Getty, and Alex are so tight. They sound like one instrument.
Right.
Now, Jay, did you know that this song was recorded in one take?
No.
They did some levels. They played through, parts of it leveling, and they said that they didn't need to play through the whole song to get all the levels. They stopped, hit record, recorded it in one
Do
take.
they record it like live, or do they? So
No,
Well, now you can
Memorex.
tell. I mean, there's overdubs. You can hear because
yeah,
if you listen to Exit Stage Left, the reason it sounds so good is because they overdub some other guitar parts into it. Like you can hear rhythm guitar over the
Yeah.
solo at the end, which is
And-
fine.
And,
I don't have
and
anything
maybe
against that.
beefing up a guitar part here and there,
Yeah.
So
So they
but
would
Let's-
have.
but
But
still,
as
it's
far as I mean,
that's
that
still pretty
long,
amazing.
And there's some things that I'll talk about later. The thing that I like about it, where it's amazing that they were to get through that whole song that long with all those different parts in it in one take is just, it's unbelievable.
Well, and it could have just been an instrumental. You didn't really, but when the lyrics came in, so I was listening to it, I was like, I wonder how long it is before the lyrics come into the song. And so I was listening to it again today, and the music, the vocals don't start until almost exactly 5 minutes into the song.
5 minutes in.
Yeah.
It's like a whole song before the
Yeah.
song starts.
and then
Yeah.
they start Xanadu,
And it's like
which
three.
in which that's what, like 1:25, and then they start the whole freaking instrumental over again.
And it's almost, what is it, 2:53 before the guitar even starts?
Yeah.
Or no, before the guitar starts before then.
Well,
It's like at 2:53 before the bam,
Yeah,
bam. It's at 2:53. So, have y'all read Kubla Khan? Have you read Kubla Khan, Jay?
I have not.
It's cool. It's funny. I have this pop-up book of Kubla Khan, and I think I probably need to do a video of reading it and showing the little pop-up things. I need to do it for, I'll put it somewhere, social media or somewhere, and hopefully Samuel Taylor Coleridge doesn't sue me for copyright infringement. Just kidding. It's
Now,
Well,
who came first, Kubla or Genghis?
Genghis Khan came first. Kubla Khan was Genghis's son.
Really? Not a
Yeah.
grandson or great grandson or great 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 grandson or great great great
I
great
think-
great grandson.
Either son or grandson.
or great.
No,
great,
Okay.
great.
So how are they in any kind of relation to Khan from Star Trek?
Yeah. When did Khan Noonan Singh come into play? I mean,
Right.
is he related?
They just got his name from from a real life conqueror, Genghis and
Mm,
Kubla. So
Kubla.
did you know
Jamaica.
that
Ooh, I
Xanadu-
wanna take it
so
to
Xanadu is a real
Bermuda.
place.
Well, yeah, you went roller skating.
Jay, we were
Oh,
talking about earlier. Xanadu was the roller rink, right? In
Yeah.
the movie Xanadu with
Yes.
Olivia
Uh,
Newton-John. Okay. All right. Was that
So
on? Or was that on?
I have to tell you, speaking of Kubla Khan, I mean,
You
this
have to believe we're magic.
That is just
oh, that's a
completely
great
different
song.
That is a good song.
Um,
I'm very aroused.
the lyric, I guess you could call it the chorus because it's repeated. Where he says to stand within the pleasure dome. There's a song that Billy Joel wrote called You're My, I think it's called You're My Home. And he mentions a pleasure dome. And I'd never heard the pleasure dome mentioned in any other song before until this one.
Really?
And then it of course sparked the question, what the hell is a pleasure dome?
All right. So
Well, I think
Kubla
the
Khan
Dome
built-
was an old wooden ship back in the Civil War era.
Kubla Khan built Xanadu, and it kind of became one of the capitals of Mongolia, and it's really there in northern China. You can go to this place. So he built it, and that's where he would spend the summers because it was too cold there in the winter. And apparently, being the king and the conqueror, there was a lot of partying that went on in Xanadu, and that's
You
where
know.
the word pleasure dome
Oh
comes
my
in,
God. Are we
because there
talking
was a lot of
about
that.
We're talking about, yes.
What?
And he built it because he was a man, and he built it out of steel and brawn.
Well, that would explain why when I Googled pleasure dome,
Uh-oh.
the first thing that popped up was some adult
Yes.
entertainment club.
Well, and yeah, I mean, some of that was probably going on there because, like Mel Brooks said, it's good to be the king.
It's good to be the king. Oh, piss boy. Basically. So Xanadu, is that a real place then?
Yes. Yeah. And so that was something. So I was looking at where it is and checks notes. It's in northern China in where it used to be Mongolia. And there's this place called, there's this place next to it called the Xanadu Shirts. Shirts? Is it Shurts or something like that? And that's these little huts you can stay in on the side of these rolling hills there in China. And it looks incredible. It looks so much fun. And then, and peaceful and relaxing. And then near that, there's a place called the Yuanshangdu Relic Site, which is supposedly the relics of where the palace was, where Kubla Khan's palace was. And you can go, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and you can visit it. And you can pretty much go to the real Xanadu, which I think as Rush fans, I think we should do that.
See, I always thought that Xanadu was just another word for heaven,
Me
like
too.
Valhalla.
Yeah,
And
me too.
Vikings. Yeah.
And I don't know if it was since Coleridge's poem, but that has kind of happened where Xanadu is become synonymous for an idyllic place or a paradise. Yes, that is
Okay.
true. Yeah.
Hmm. Well, that's
And
all the
speaking of-
questions I have.
No more questions. Well, and here's a couple of more interesting things about the real place, Xanadu. It is about 370 miles from a place
Here?
called Wutai Mountain in China, which is this cool little village on a mountain, and it's a very popular site for Buddhists. There's Buddhist temples there. And it's another one of those super
Shane,
peaceful site with all.
It's the Rush podcast. It's not the travel one.
Oh, my bad. Not all
Yeah.
things travel. Sorry.
All right.
That's why I
okay.
don't see Ryan here. That's not.
Yeah. It's okay. It's fine.
But okay, so it's close to this place, and then Xanadu, or this Yuanshangdu Relic Site, is about. Just notice I keep reading my notes. It's about 560 miles from another place that you've probably heard of, Mount the south side. It's about 560 miles from Mount Taishan. So I wonder, when Neil is standing on top of Taishan and thinking about the lyrics for Taishan, did he travel 500 miles north
of the mountain.
Did he go to Xanadu while he was there?
And
Ooh, that's a good question.
I mean, he was right there, just like 6 hours.
Oh,
from
he had
in
to.
the
Surely he
peaceful
went.
haze of
Well, first of all, don't call me
harvest
Shirley. And
Oh.
I think he might have.
Song of eternity.
Thank you, Tim. I love it when Tim sings. I like it better.
Well,
Did you hear that? That's
like it
all the
better when
air
he
rushing out
stops.
of my lungs. There's none left.
All of the force rushing out of my life. Okay.
Wow.
So anyway, yeah, real Xanadu.
Well, so that's
All right,
interesting.
so here's a fun. So Xanadu, the poem, Samuel Taylor Coleridge writes this poem, and the legend is, I don't believe this, but supposedly he has this opium-induced dream, and when he wakes up, he has the poem already in his head, and he just starts writing it down that he remembers from his dream, and then it's then finished because someone interrupts him, and he forgets the rest of it, so he didn't finish the poem.
Oh man, that's the worst. When like you get an idea. And have you ever like had recently, I haven't written a song in forever, but recently I dreamed a song. I was singing it in my dream.
Really?
And I was humming it when I woke up, but I didn't take the time to go try to record it somewhere, and it's gone.
Did you hit snooze, or did you just start getting ready for work?
I just know I got up to pee and I was humming it while I was peeing, and then I'm like, I'll remember that tomorrow, and you never do.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
No.
and I should have just gotten up. I should have at least grabbed my phone and like sang into the phone what it was.
You should have washed your hands and then grabbed your phone.
Thank you. Yes, because it's very important to be sanitary.
All right, well, here's another thing. Speaking of the ending of Xanadu, the last lines, I guess, from where where Coleridge was interrupted, of Kubla Khan are, "For I have dined on honeydew and drank the milk of paradise." I think what's interesting about that is that that's kind of the first lines of the song Xanadu. Like Kubla Khan ends with,
right.
Xanadu starts with that.
Okay. So what you're saying is the character here in Xanadu, the song, is definitely not lactose intolerant.
Because he likes the milk of paradise.
Likes the milk of paradise, yes.
Which also, by the way, I have learned milk of paradise is a kind of like a nickname for opium.
Really?
Yeah.
I am learning lots of stuff today.
Interesting.
They were a bunch of druggies back in the 70s.
Now, I don't know if it's called that because of Coleridge's line, Milk of Paradise, or if Coleridge used Milk of Paradise because it was another name for opium. That I don't know.
By the way, I just want to mention something real quickly. As we are recording this Zoom via the video, all
Fly by night eyes.
all I can see are the reflection of the screen on his eyes. It's very creepy. That is all I see. I'm like, I'm getting a little scared, but thank you for coming to the camera.
He's like the
No,
owl
don't
Fly
do
by
it. Don't
Night.
do it.
Just those two yellow eyes.
It looks scary. You're scaring me, Tim.
All right. So here we are, 20 minutes in,
Stop.
and we have. So here's what I think that the song Xanadu is this, to me, it's a lot like the Fountains of Lemneth, where you've got this person that the song is about. And at the beginning, he's talking to seek the sacred river, Alf, to walk the caves of ice. He's thinking about this place. Wherever he is, he's wanting to go to Xanadu because he wants to eat the honeydew, drink the milk of paradise, because it's going to make him immortal. It's going to give him these powers. So that's what I think.
To break my fast on honeydew.
Breakfast.
See? Well, no. He's either heard about this honeydew or he's only had it once, but he's craving it. So basically he's been fasting.
Maybe.
But that's his goal. That's his journey to achieve this, to reach Xanadu and partake in this.
Because there are
what
some
ends
kind of
up happening.
religious overtones here with the whole honeydew, milk of paradise thing.
Look, you know what? I don't know about you guys, but I've been married for almost 19 years. I have never craved honeydews. Like, honeydew this, honeydew that. No? Okay.
Thank you very kindly.
Sorry, David.
Actually, I do like honeydews. I don't like cantaloupe, but I like honeydews.
Huh.
And the very last line, and drunk the milk of paradise. Whoa, paradise.
All right, so here's what I think the song has 3 parts.
Okay.
And the first...
No, there's a 4th part. It's just hidden.
The first few minutes, which is before the music even kicks in. Because like when I hear those sounds, like it starts off with the bird sounds, to me it's like morning. And that synthesizer, to me, I can see the sun peeking up over the horizon.
Just like the beginning of Red Barchetta.
Yeah.
And then, and that's what I was thinking when we were talking about Red Barchetta, is that Alex's guitar, I was thinking Alex's guitar, who can play a better sunrise on the guitar than Alex? I mean, these 2 songs, he uses his guitar to paint a dawn. That's just crazy. So anyway, I think like that first part, all those sound effects and stuff, is like the waking up, the morning, or maybe the younger part of this guy's life, maybe his early childhood. And then when the music kicking in at around 2:50, and the first verse, like the first half of the lyrics, through about minute 7, to me, that's the characters wanting to go to Xanadu, wanting to have these things and do whatever he needs to do to gain immortality. And maybe it's his journey to Xanadu. Because if you look, like with the first stanza, or the first time he says, to stand within the pleasure dome, right? So that he's thinking about how it'd be so awesome just to stand there, just to be there. And then at that 7-minute mark, that's to me, the story changes there. And it's not a story of a quest or a dream. To me, it turns into kind of a horror story, because then the line is held within the pleasure dome decreed by Kublai Khan. And to me, I mean, the lyrics.
Well, yeah, because you start seeing the regret in the line, the stanza or whatever, the lines before that 1,000 years have come and gone, but time has passed me by.
Yeah, so it's
Stars
like
basically in the sky.
Right. So he's like, dude, I am stuck here. This is not all it's cracked up to be.
Mortality sucks. I hate this. Why did I come here?
He ends up becoming a mad, immortal man.
Yeah.
Now, is it, okay, here's the thing, is because I was looking at the lyrics, and I've always thought it was mad immortal man, like
Oh, it's
insane.
man.
But it
It's as a
says
man,
immortal man.
which makes me
I
mad.
thought it was mad and
I did too. I've always thought it was mad immortal man. You know what?
Held within the pleasure dome, decree by Kubla Khan to taste my bitter triumph. As a man, immortal man, never more shall I return, escape these caves of ice. For I've dined on the honeydew and drunk the milk of paradise.
Well, like he got what he wanted and he hates it, which is another. Neil brings that back again on why can't I think of the on Clockwork Angels, right?
Yeah.
Is that Clockwork Angels?
Yeah.
Sometimes Carnies. Sometimes the angels punish us by answering our prayers.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He brings it back around.
Sometimes,
you guys, I'm sorry. I always considered myself a Rush fan.
No, I pulled up these lyrics. I thought
because doesn't that make sense?
It does make sense
because of all the words beforehand. 1,000 years is coming, but is 1,000 years.
1,000 years has come.
1,000 years, right? Has passed. Okay, immortal man. That happens to an immortal man, right?
Right.
Time passing by 1,000 years, but you're. And so what he's gone through, mad, not.
I always thought it was mad.
Not in its right mind anymore because of what he's done.
Right. No,
man immortal. So he's saying
a man.
So what exactly is that meaning?
Man. Now it could be that these lyrics on Google are wrong.
Immortal man.
That's why as we go through these album by album, I'm gonna start buying the vinyl. I'm gonna buy every album so I can have all the original lyrics in there that they had. I think there's a site though that has all the artworks from the album. It's something like 2112.net or something like that. I'll find it. We'll put it in the.
Well, here's how I interpret that. He's talking about, now he's immortal, but that's as a man. That's a reminder of what he started out, what he had before. He was gonna. There's an end date, but now he's an immortal man, and he's realized, it's not a good idea.
Hey, maybe this
made a mistake.
Maybe this is the touch of religion.
Maybe
started off as a man, but because of the decisions that he's made, which he's not happy with, immortal, meaning he is living in punishment forever.
Oh yeah, so
he's in heaven becomes hell.
Right.
He thinks he's going to heaven, but in fact, he's in hell.
That could be biblical too. He says something about to taste anew the fruits of life.
Right.
Be kind of a reference to the Adam and Eve. There was the tree of life, and then the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Maybe that's kind of a reference to that.
Man. Well, I don't know about
immortal
you guys.
Man, Jay.
I don't know you.
You don't know us? Well, this is Tim up there in the top left in the dark, the fly by night eyes. Yep, go back.
I was trying to.
You know what? We're like 30 minutes into this, and I haven't even gotten into all the parts about music. So maybe I'll just save those for when we come back and do Farewell to King's album, because there's a lot of really cool subtle things in the recording with the drums and the bass.
Hey, but can I admit something real quick?
Always.
Okay, so I had Exit Stage left forever, way before I ever had purchased a Farewell to Kings or Hemispheres.
Yeah.
So yes, I've always listened.
Okay.
The trees going into Xanadu. And I remember the first time I played Xanadu from the Farewell to Kings album, that when I heard the keyboard and the birds chirping and the I was like, wait a second. I thought that was just this little instrumental they did between the trees to get them into the song Xanadu.
No.
I had no clue that was actually Xanadu.
Cute little Tim listening to Exit Stage Left, not knowing where Xanadu begins. That's cute. You were so cute when you were young. Not really.
Well,
why not? Yeah, I mean, it's 30 minutes. I think I'll save all my notes about the music for that because I don't want these to be long episodes. Otherwise, like, what are we going to do when we get to Rivendell? How are we going to get 30 minutes out of Rivendell?
Oh,
Lord,
we won't.
Probably
We're going to have
with a gun to our head.
Or pen it. You know what? Maybe we'll just play Rivendell over and over again. I did that one night. I knew I was going to have trouble sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
So I got my headphones on. I have these headphones that are kind of flat to my head so you can sleep in them. And I just queued up Rivendell to play like 20 times in a row. And it made me insane. I didn't sleep a wink. Didn't work. Totally did not work. All right. Wow. So yeah, let's go to China then. Let's go to Xanadu and Taishan and Mount Waitu. Hang out, be like Buddhists.
Sure, man. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. You want to do it Thursday?
Thursday, yeah. After we record your Thursday.
Yeah, after
we'll go to China for the weekend.
Absolutely.
Should we invite Tim? Maybe not.
You know, we do. Tim's the it all hinges on Tim.
It does. It does. I want to say this about every Rush song. We're not. Do you think of yourselves as experts, like Rush experts?
Yeah.
Oh God, no.
I did until I found out that it's not mad.
Yeah.
Now I am a Billy Joel expert. I'm not a Rush expert, but
I don't want this.
I have to say this podcast has made me go back and re-examine some of the stuff that the earlier Rush, especially. I'm like, wow.
Speaking of early Rush, we've got a topic for you next week.
Oh,
yes.
But I don't want this to be, we are not the final word on this. We're just starting a conversation.
We're throwing it out, and we want the masses to join us and tell us, hey, you know what? You actually got that wrong.
We want to learn.
You go back to listening to Cheap Trick.
I want to become a better Rush fan from the two of you and our listening friends.
And that's why I try to put every Rush song everywhere. I want every Rush fan out there to have every opportunity to add to this conversation, correct us when we're wrong, tell us what we missed.
Yes.
So do not hesitate to
I'm not so sure about all that correcting right there.
Tell Tim where he's wrong.
Tim
loves for people to prove him wrong.
We like to be it's nice to be educated, corrected.
It's different. Yeah,
right.
It's different. I'll hunt you down.
Wise words.
Throw you in a prison in Russia.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. Until next time. Oh yeah, because next week we're gonna argue over whether or not we should cover Rush's first album, the one without Neil. So join us next week so you can hear us fight. Oh, well, I guess it's decided. No, it's not. So you can hear us decide that. And we will see you next week on every Rush song.
Thank you very kindly.